Calling all animal lovers. It's your boy, Tommy D, coming at you. You know where? From my attic, as always, every day of the week I'm in the attic. That's Val, that's Jovi, that's Sonny in the corner, that's Sybil on the desk over there. So if you're checking in at Facebook, we got animals everywhere, animals galore. Sybil is Sonny's cat, and there's another cat, and there's a whole bunch of cats. We're going to talk about that in a second. You know Jovi, that's our mascot. I thought I was the mascot, to be honest with you, but all right, fine. Jovi's the mascot. Jovi, what's up, dog? How you doing?
Hi, everybody.
Oh, that's a funny voice. Now, I saw your lips moving, so I know that was you. I know that wasn't Jovi talking. Here we are. The silliness ensues. This is your Professional Animal Lover show. That is my Long Island Railroad train cruising past my house. In case you didn't hear, that's the train. All right, so listen, here's the deal. Every single week we come to you on Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. to tell stories, to bring thought leaders, to bring people who are on the leading edge, cutting edge of animal advocacy, who are doing their part to protect those who can't, sort of giving a voice to the voiceless. Wink, wink, Val, you could tell us what that means. But every single week, we're going to come together, have this conversation. We believe that this community is strong. We believe that the bond between animal lovers is just as strong as a bond between a pet and their human companion. So listen, what we're going to do, we're going to jump right into today's conversation. Valerie, tell me about this show. Come on. I mean, I know about the show, but tell other people about this show. What does this mean to you? Why did this happen?
Yeah, I would love to. And I realized that we're on the, I think, 11th episode. And somehow I failed to mention that this show is really a derivative of an event that I put together maybe 5 years ago, roughly. I'm ballparking it 4 years ago, something like that. And so what happened was I used to run business networking events, as you know, Tommy Nemisa. That's how we met. And a lot of times I would do a niche, like industry specific event. So we did a lot with real estate. We did some women in business. I would call that like professionistas. We did health and wellness once or twice. We did legal eagles, all about networking within a niche. Well, one day I did an event where it came out that one of my clients, who's now a friend and actually also our accountant, was very shy. And he wanted to be more extroverted and outgoing. This came out in a conversation we had. So I built an event around him where on the name tag, instead of putting your name and like what you do for a living, so instead of saying, Tommy health insurance, it would say, let's say, baking and dogs. In his case, it was surfing and dogs. And the guy was like, he had the best networking experience because it was easy for him. Everyone came up to him. They're talking surfing. People are asking him questions. And then, of course, people are talking about their dogs and they're showing pictures. Everyone's showing pictures of their pets on their phones. And the bonds were instant. And he came up to me afterwards and he goes, thank you. This was awesome for me. All I did was talk about what I love. And then at the end of the conversation, that's when people say, by the way, what do you do? And that's because they already care about the person. So we decided to I've been talking about this for a while, and we did a couple of pet loving professionals events. A lot of business relationships were established through those. And this is just the next level of that. This is just trying to garner attention. I don't care what anyone does. I don't care if you're a funeral director. If you are an animal lover, and I'm choosing, one funeral director over another, I want to go with the people who love animals.
That's fine. But you know what? That freaks me out a little bit with that whole Pet Cemetery movie, with the Haunting movie with Stephen King. And now you're freaking me out. You know what's okay, though? The sun is out. I'm okay. But I'm going to be scared later on when I listen to this show.
Let's go with pizza. So if there's two great pizzerias and one of them is someone who stands up for the animals, and like a Reno, who I actually met at an anti-puppy mill demonstration, I want to give my business to that pizzeria. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I do. And first, shout out to Reno Di Maria, who was our first guest on this particular show. As I say, this is not Valerie and Tommy's show. This is your professional and animal lover show. Reno is on the show. And by the way, check out my t-shirt if you're checking us out on Facebook. Camp Happy Tails NYC Rescue, if you can't see the bottom. I usually wear a shirt and tie like all the time, even if I have shorts or even if I have a bathing suit on. Sometimes I have a shirt and tie. That's a whole nother thing you can talk to me about some other time. But when speaking of that, though, you talk about professionistas, Valerie. I'm a Maxxinista. Do you know what that is? I shop at TJ Maxx. So they call you when you shop there that you're a Maxxinista. So as you were talking professionista, right away my mind goes to the fact that I love TJ Maxx. Shout out TJ Maxx. I don't even know if there is a real person TJ Maxx, but if there is, thank you for everything you do. That's a joke. All right, but here's the deal. I wanted to call out the t-shirt. I want to call out that funny joke about TJ Maxx. We did all that. Check. Good job, Tommy D. This show is about spotlighting those who are serving the animal community. I talked about the bond. I talked about that connection. Val, your company is giving back. So this organization, this show and everything we're doing here, this mission that we're on, professionals and animal lovers show, but the whole mission is really supported by philanthropy and focus, which is what I do. And your company, tell us about it real quick, and then we'll get moving.
So our company, Work Be Done, is a relatively new gig and marketplace company where you can sign up and get people to come to your house and help you with odd jobs and skillless labor. We're donating 10% of net profits back to local reputable rescues, shelters, and animal advocacy groups. And I have to mention our fabulous website designer. It was a lot of development, a lot of coding, and a lot of, this is a complex website. You should check it out at workbedone.com. And our fabulous website designer, V Sky Solutions, is also one of our sponsors.
Awesome. Thank you. That's my comrade, my buddy, my pal, Val. I didn't get to do that up front, so I wanted to do it again. All right, this is enough playtime, Tommy D. Cut it out. Let's get to the show. You didn't come here to hear us pontificate. Well, maybe you did. If you did, we could do another show where I just talk for days. Here's what we're going to do. I want to introduce our guest first. Before I even introduce him, Sonny, you look sharp. So if you guys are not watching us on Facebook, this guy's three-piece suit right now. I'm feeling a little underdressed. Who knows? I might change my wardrobe later on. But Sonny Nardone, which I appreciate you pronouncing it, because I was going to go Nardone. So when I heard you say Nardone, I wanted to make sure like Corleone or Corleone. So welcome to the Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. How are you?
Outstanding. And to be honest, I've been called worse, but I think it just depends on which part of Italy your family's from, whether it's Nardone or Nardone.
Yeah, my family's from Long Island, Italy. That's where we're from.
I got you. Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. We're thrilled to have you here. I'm going to read a little bit of your background real quick. I'm worried about this too, man. I'm worrying a lot. First, the whole thing about Pet Cemetery. Now, when I tell you what Sonny does, I'm afraid I'm not even going to be here for the rest of the show. He's a comedy stage hypnotist. I'm wondering if I'm going to start clucking like a chicken and John DiLeonardo, our old friend, might pick me up and save me. What? Hold on. I heard him snap his fingers. Comedy stage hypnotist, artist in carving skulls, author of books on reading body language. His family's mission is to help homeless pets in creating a coffee company that gives back. The name of the coffee company, check out the website, petrescuecoffee.com. I was looking at it earlier. Sonny, we met Sybil before, right up front. We met Sybil in the green room. I know there's another cat in the house. First of all, tell us about yourself, man. I mean, this is, I know some more of the stories that we shared earlier, but just get us in there, man. Let us know what's going on.
Well, so the whole pet rescue, portion of my life started just as a kid. We lived we had about 5 acres, and I was always taking in homeless animals, and much to my parents' chagrin, who had to pay the vet bills, which is another reason why we started Pet Rescue Coffee. But it just, anything that happened to wander in and was friendly, usually wind up staying in our garage at some point and getting cleaned up. And that's how we got cats. That's how we got dogs. That's pretty much the start of it. And then when we moved into this house in Virginia that we're in right now, we started to see just feral cats. And we had one cat that I guess our first rescue was Cedric. He's upstairs. Sybil likes to stay downstairs. And Cedric is a huge black cat. And it was right around Halloween. And I told my wife, I said, look, we're going to have to grab him, get a trap just because it's Halloween and I'm worried. And so we trapped him and got him fixed.
Hold on, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want you to elaborate because I don't know if enough people know about this, but can you just elaborate as to why you were worried about?
Oh, sure. So I guess there's a high incidence of black cats being harmed and abused and killed during Halloween and that time of year. And so he was a very friendly cat. He would sit by the back door and we would feed him, but as soon as we would like make a motion to try to go and grab him, he would just run away. But he was friendly enough where, I think he might get close enough to a human where if they meant to do him harm, they probably could. So we got a live trap. We worked through an organization here called Save a Dog, Save a Cat. And that their abbreviation is Sad Sack for short. Save a Dog, Save a Cat. If you look at Save a Dog, Save a Cat, Woodbridge, Virginia, you'll find their website. It's also our featured on the website, petrescuecoffee.com. It's on our featured organization. So it'll be a link there. But
You know what I'll do? I'll show that stuff when we go to break so the folks
okay.
Check it out.
So we worked through them and they found us a vet clinic to take him to. They gave him all the shots and got him fixed, and we brought him home. And eventually he just became part of the family. And then so we started noticing more and more, of course, everything from feral cats to raccoons and possums, of which we did not adopt. But I was sitting out on the deck one day and Sybil, as a kitten, just walked up and sat on my lap.
Oh, she's a long cat.
Yeah, but she's not only that, Val. I noticed it before we got started. She's a big cat. Like, I mean, like if you show her body, I mean, I've seen cats, but I mean, what's that cat? What no offense, Sybil. You're
that kind of Tommy.
What?
She was a skinny little skinny little kitten, and when she came inside, she
just blossomed. Yeah. I don't mean, and Val, it's not a weight thing. She's large. She's a large cat. You're making this like
No, I thought it was that you said show her body, and I said,
stop! It's not that kind of show. Oh, stop. Val, clean it up. All right, this is a family show. You're just because you're thinking dirty things doesn't mean that's what we're talking about. No, but I want to understand this because my grandfather, I think I've referenced him on this show before. My dad's father, he would always have these cats, but they weren't like family cats. I know there's this one cat, Buffy, there was a Buffy for like 20 years. So I don't think it was the same Buffy, to be honest with you, but that's a whole nother deal. But I'm interested because I've never fed animals that are like in the neighborhood, although I did see a bunch of raccoons in my garbage pail the other night, but that was not intentional. They decided to eat the garbage. I wasn't feeding them. But these animals, even if they never come in the house, Val, you can weigh in here too, they've kind of become your pets. Like they're not, right? So they're sort of like the outdoor, right? Tell me about that.
Oh yeah, I named all of the ferals that were showing up in my old neighborhood, and you really get to know them. I had Groucho, who just had this like black and white kind of bug-eyed expression all the time, and Shaq was the biggest cat I've ever seen.
Doc?
A few, Stogie, Smokey, I forgot the other one. It was cigar related, but you definitely get to know them, and you get worried when they don't show up for food, because what animal doesn't rely on having a regular, stable food source?
Right. If they know we're going to go to a break right now, but if they know there's a meal going to be there, you would think they'd show up. So the fact that they're not there is concern. And knowing my friend Valerie, I bet she went through the neighborhood looking for these animals when they didn't come to eat, right? Yes or no? Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much, yes. I got it. I'm not judging. I'm just making it. I was taking a guess. All right, look, this is Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. Sonny Nardone is here. Sybil is here. Jovi's here. Val is here. Cedric is upstairs somewhere. I don't think we'll see him. He doesn't usually make it down to this part of the house. We'll be right back. Your Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. At the break, I'll show you Pet Rescue Coffee and I'll show you the Sad Sack website. We'll be right back.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant. And on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you on edge? Hey, we live in challenging, edgy times, so let's lean in. I'm Sandra Bargman, the host of The Edge of Every Day, which airs each Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc. Tune in live with me and my friends and colleagues as we share stories and perspectives about pushing boundaries and exploring our rough edges. That's The Edge of Every Day on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
All right, this is Professionals and Animal Lovers Show, PALS. That's what we like to call it. I'm Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector. That's Valerie Heffron, the animal advocate, my favorite animal advocate, the person who has exposed me to this entire world. I'm learning new acronyms like TNR. I was just looking at the website for Sad Sack, which is a great name for an organization. I showed it to you guys during the break. Save a dog, save a cat. I got to tell you guys this, and then I want to hear from Sonny really about, you know, I see that barn or that garage filled with animals, all the animals like you collected, like nickels and dimes that you walk through the neighborhood and collected these animals. And I know I have a son who's all about the dogs. So he's, I see it. I understand that. I saw something kind of terrible and sad the other day, yesterday, maybe on social media. And I didn't really think of it as terrible and sad ever before until I saw this last night. And I think I even sent it over to Valerie. It was a picture of a mouse in a mouse trap, a snap trap.
Horrible.
Did you see this trap? Did you see this thing? Did I send it to you?
I'm sorry I didn't see it,
I'll
but
send
I get so upset over that. First of all, this happened in high school.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I was playing volleyball and I was a junior, and you know, you travel to other schools, you play your game, you come back, it's like 6 o'clock at night or whatever. As I will never forget this as long as I live. I found in like the edge of the gymnasium, a mouse alive, stuck in a glue trap. And I was like so upset. I was crying. I picked it up. The thing was like halfway done chewing its leg off.
Tragic.
So I like took a pen or whatever and I dug around the glue, but I mean, this thing was mangled. And then I couldn't believe I did this. Like, I wasn't afraid of getting in trouble or suspended or whatever. I found out that it was the coach, like the phys ed teacher, who was like deathly afraid of mice. So she did it. And I went at her. I really did. I was like,
but you're a kid and you like, I didn't know this was going to bring up memories.
I did not care. Like, to me, that is just the cruelest thing. It's horrible. The way that there are humane ways to go about
That's the idea too. Like that's the point of this little text, of this little like meme or whatever it is. But it was a picture of this mouse like in the trap, and it was like a little poem or a little excerpt of what that animal is thinking, and it's like just tragically sad. Guess what? You know what? I've had mouse traps in my life, you know, whether it be in businesses, when I worked in the restaurant business, unfortunately, gangs, I hate to tell you, but sometimes rodents get into restaurants. Sorry, spoiler alert, if you never knew that. If you never knew that one.
Like your house.
And they do it from time to time, get into your home. And they're not like, you know, like I say, like out here in the country, I call them country mice, you know, like they're not like city mice, like, you know, like country mice, they have like a piece of straw hanging out the mouth. They tip their cap to you as you're coming by. You know, all right, none of that's true. But I think a lot of Speedy Gonzalez, remember Speedy Gonzalez and his company Slowpoke Gonzalez? We're totally off track, Valerie. So back to this though. There are humane ways to do this. There's humane ways to catch them in a live trap and let them go to the field and set them free. Anyway,
You know, great way to leverage nature is feral cats are a great, you will never have a mouse in your house if you have a cat.
if I have you're saying, but you mean even an outdoor cat? Just
Either, honestly. Just like when I went to a vineyard that I went to high school with a woman who was living and nurturing a vineyard. She was basically the vintner. Okay. So she's in charge of all of the grapes and growing them and making sure they flourish. Do you know what they use? They don't use any pesticides. And this is about her. She says, nature has all the solutions. She's a falconer. So the birds that normally come and eat all the grapes and cost the vineyards an incredible amount of money, which is one of the reasons why some wines are so high, they don't bother when there's a falcon or two flying, because they're the food. You understand? So anyway, I love the conversation, but I want to bring it back to the feral cats because Sonny, I know that you have had several cats, and I love the fact that like you thought about, because you know a couple of people who have been in breeding, and I know that you thought about it for like a second, but you decided not to, obviously. And I just wanted to ask you, well, I wanted to thank you, but also wanted to ask you, like, how did you come about that decision?
Well, I don't have any problem with anybody that would like to say perhaps have a specific type of cat, like, or dog, like they find a specific breed really captivating, and that's great. But that's what our thing with us was. What I wanted to breed Sphinx cats, and we do have a couple Sphinx cats. And when we got them, one of them got sick with FIP, and then that was it, you know. And so I thought, from that point, I thought, you know, I don't want to breed cats. It was a combination of a couple things. I don't want to breed cats and then have this be a kitten, be part of somebody's life, and then I'm associated with that cat being sick and all the heartache that we went through watching that cat die slowly. And then of course, at that point, we started having more feral cats outside. And I said, you know, there's no real reason. We have what we need now. Let's just take care of what we have already, whether or not we asked for it. I mean, we didn't ask to have all these feral cats, but they're there. And so they're, you know, so when we worked with Sad Sack, we actually were able to trap seven or nine cats, and we got them all fixed. So the majority of the ferals, go ahead.
No, that's fantastic that you did that, because I read a stat recently that, I mean, one female cat can have 2 to 3 litters. They can have 3 litters a year. And if each litter has 4 to 5 kittens, let's say on average, and then those kittens can get pregnant as soon as 4 to 6 months of age, just think about, you know, how quickly that, you know, explodes. But also I wanted to ask you, because I'm really torn on this specific definition of feral. The way I understand it to be is that a feral cat is a cat that will just never come close to a human. Like they won't let you touch, they won't let you around them, you know, they might come a little closer knowing that you're feeding them, but ultimately, you know, they would be a terrible house pet. But then I see people that have converted, they're like online, they show like progress. And I
Yeah.
know for my cat Puffy was an outdoor cat. She just showed up one day, like she got the memo in the neighborhood that we were putting food out, and she already had the ear notch to signify that she was fixed. Well, after a year of feeding her consistently, and she would get a little closer over time, and she would come, actually, when I called, I would go, Puppy, and shake the food, and she'd come flying out of nowhere. We had a big snowstorm, and I got her to come inside. I closed the door behind her. Everyone that I knew who knows cats, these are people like involved with, trapping, rescuing, TNR. And they're like, she is going to rip your house apart.
Why though?
And
Why did they think that though? Why is that like, right? Why do they think she's just going to go bananas?
because in general, like feral cats don't like being without, they don't like barriers. They don't like feeling like there's no way out. You know what I mean? So they're used to being outdoors, I guess. They're used to fending for themselves. Being confined in a place that's unfamiliar for them is supposedly, like, I always think of that scene from Meet the Parents, right? With Robert De Niro and that cat that Ben Stiller tried to
Mr.
fake.
Jinx. Yeah, Mr. Jinx. Yeah, and
Spray-
bring in the fake
P.A.L.
Mr. Jinx, like spray
Yeah.
paint P.A.L. Yeah.
He went nuts and he ripped apart the whole room and he shredded the wedding dress. That's like, I was bracing myself for that, But the truth is that I guess because she did know me over time outside, she came around and now she's like the most loving cat. So I really struggle sometimes with when people say, oh, this cat's too feral, it needs to be released back outside. I don't know if we're working with them enough. And I was wondering, Sonny, if you could shed some light on that with your experience.
Well, I think there's a couple problems. One, when we talk to rescue agencies or vet clinics or any of those places, they're all about the fast turnaround, trying to get your stuff that you're bringing into them and then finding them a suitable house. So they really only want kittens. And even if they're, as opposed to like this as a kitten, even if they're like this, they're like, oh no, they're too old. I don't know if I can adopt them out. So I think you have that perspective. And then I think you have the Instagram effect, because I guarantee you there's probably, no, I guarantee and probably don't go together, but there's probably not an account that says, here is my journey with the cat that I was never able to get to adopt because it was so crazy and tore up and peed and crapped all over my house. They're not going to be accounts that highlight those. They're only going to be accounts like from Dodo, where it's like, I found this cat with one eye, one leg, his name is Lucky, and I was able to adopt him, and now he's a maestro at a concert. So you're only going to see stories like those. I think if you had the time and didn't, I think you could probably domesticate one cat at a time. But as you know, when you start bringing multiple cats in, some of those cats now all of a sudden feel threatened, and then they were maybe normal before, but now I've got to mark my territory, and now I got to pee on stuff. And then just because this cat now is starting to mature and be friendly, then it might upset the other cat. And unless you're like Jackson Galaxy, who's like the Zen master of cat behavior, you're going to have a difficult time. But I think it's possible. I think any age cat is possible if you're patient enough and is in the right environment.
Yeah, I just really wonder because I feel so badly. I know that it's such a stressful life, the outdoor life, between the elements, predators, lack of food, fighting amongst other, cats or whatever, and then getting run over by cars. And I mean, there's just so many, they have a shortened lifespan because of it. And I just wonder if we're not giving up on a lot of them a little too quickly.
I think it's possible to have a domesticated feral cat. I think all of them could be. I just think it has to be the right environment. And where I want to take all of them in, I might not be the right person. And I have to be strong enough to say, you know what, I'm not the right person for this. Maybe we can find somebody who can, hold on to them for a while to do that. But,
you guys know of any organizations that I just saw a vision as you guys were talking about this, where it's like maybe somebody's got like a half acre of land or something like that, and they have like one building, but maybe the building can be like have a cat door where they can go in and out or whatever, but where you can just put like hundreds of these cats that, where there's like a caretaker. I'm allergic, so I can't do it. But I'm wondering though, I'm being silly about the allergy thing, but I'm wondering if there's like there's an opportunity there. I happen to have the opportunity this afternoon to go do a day of service, and I got to see a shelter for veterans. And not by no means is this the same. Am I making a comparison? Although I guess by bringing it up, I'm making a comparison. But I'm just wondering, like some sort of big old shelter that we can have for these animals. And we have like 30 seconds. So start to tell me about it, and then we'll go to break.
Well, they do exist, but it's rather controversial. They're considered to be sanctuaries, and I guess I can get into it a little more when we do come back from break.
Let's do that, because I'm sure Sonny wants to weigh in on that too. This is Tommy D. That's Valerie. That's Sonny. That's Sybil. Jovi was here before. A lot of characters on the show today. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Pals. It's Jovi.
Host of the new podcast, Gateway to the Smokies. It airs on talkradio.nyc every Tuesday night from 6 p.m. to 7. Every episode is dedicated to memorable experiences in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and surrounding areas. This show features experts and locals who expound upon the richness of culture, history, and adventure that awaits you in the Smokies. Tune in every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 on talkradio.nyc.
Passionate about the conversation around racism? Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. TLC, host of the Dismantle Racism Show, which airs every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc. Join me and my amazing guests as we discuss ways to uncover, dismantle, and eradicate racism. That's Thursdays at 11 o'clock a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a small business trying to navigate the COVID-19 related employment laws? Hello, I'm Eric Sauver, employment law business law attorney and host of the new radio show, Employment Law Today. On my show, we'll have guests to discuss the common employment law challenges business owners are facing during these trying times. Tune in on Tuesday evenings from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
All right. I remember, I think it was Janet Jackson had a wardrobe malfunction way back when in the Super Bowl a bunch of years ago. This is Tommy D, by the way. This is PALS, the Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. And not to be outdone by the sharp dress of my boy, my friend, Sonny Nardone. I changed T-shirts, gang. I'll straighten out my tuxedo T-shirt tie. Do I need a little more attention? Apparently I do.
That's it. I'm going to take my tie off.
You can't do that. Oh, wardrobe malfunction. Now I can't keep up with you. You move too fast.
My time.
I don't know what, Val. I don't know what you. I'm so confused. He totally pulled an audible on me. I'm completely confused. We have one more segment. Maybe I'll find another T-shirt. I don't know what's going to happen. This is the Professionals and Animal Lovers Circus, but no animals in this circus, though. I'm mincing my things now. Oh God, John Leonardo is going to kill me. John, no elephants in this circus, just people in this circus. No animals were harmed in the making of this program today. Val, say something so I start saying things. Please take it away.
Okay. So we were talking about basically your vision sounds like a cat sanctuary, a sanctuary there are feral cat sanctuaries. However, and this is important, I always ask people to really be discerning, because if you're going to rehome a cat, any cat, it's a very stressful thing for them. That's why people, especially the outside cats, don't do it. That's why TNR releases the cat back to the same spot that you caught them in. that familiarity actually lends itself to their survival skills. So sanctuaries also vary. Like the good ones, in my opinion, the reputable ones, you're talking about $3,000 to drop off a cat. Although some of them, they go lower if the cat is older, but it's a lifetime of care basically that they're committing to. So it's food, it's water, it's medical.
Yeah.
There are places that do it, although I'm not a fan of it. They'll do it for like a couple of $100, but I really question what kind of medical attention. Last I checked, you can't get much done at a vet for $300.
All right, so the better angle is, let's do the TNR. What does that mean? Trap and release, right? Trap, neuter.
Release, but there are situations. I'll give you an example. Right now, unfortunately, in your neck of the woods, Tommy, Nassau County, New York, the town of Hempstead ignored for about 4 years pleas from the neighbors over a woman who was mentally ill, basically, and she became a hoarder, a cat hoarder. So finally, it got so bad that Adult Protective Services was called. The woman was removed from her house against her own will. The house was condemned because it smelled that badly. They were going in with like hazmat suits.
Wow.
And they pulled out 86 cats. So
in a home, 86 cats?
One home, right. That's why you really can't do it all yourself, and so there are still some outdoor cats that she was feeding and putting food out for, but she's not there anymore. So What do you do in this situation? These are outdoor feral cats. But what I would like to also get back to, Sonny, is because I think this is fascinating. You found a way. Tommy and I talk about this all the time, like to be a creative way to be a resource to this philanthropic cause or charity. And you look, if we had a money tree, we'd give money to all these organizations all the time, right? But we talked about donating skills. Tommy just hooked up a charity with some stuff that they could really use, like social media, website, whatever. What you're doing is, to be clear, you have created a company. It sells coffee, and it's not a brick and mortar location, correct?
That's correct. We deal with roasters on the West Coast and in Illinois. But go ahead.
Okay, and so this is what fascinates me. I think a lot of people, because a lot of people are selling stuff online, whether it's on Etsy or eBay, or whether they have some kind of an online store of their own. I hear a lot about like Shopify. So what you did was you have a drop ship business, and a percentage of proceeds go to these rescues. So you don't have like a garage full of coffee bags, right?
Right. Yeah. We've got a garage full of stuff right now as it is. If we had coffee bags, there wouldn't be any place for us to go. So basically the setup is I worked out with the arrangement and I probably could have done it a little bit cheaper than I did, but I'm still learning, and just worked out the arrangement with these coffee roasters and came up with the logo. And basically built the website so that when somebody orders, it sends the order to the coffee roaster. They charge my credit card, and then I get charged the wholesale, and then I get deposited the retail price. So that, and at the end of the month, as long as I remember to pay the credit card, I'm ahead of the game. So I don't have to do any actual order fulfillment.
That is great. Are you using Shopify or for that?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
You are. Do you
Shopify. Yeah, I do. Shopify is the host. They will build you a website if you ask them, or they will give you the platform to build your own. What other people do is they'll use something like Wix, and they'll contact. What I would recommend is just basically it's just affiliate marketing. Find some type of product. For us, it was coffee, and basically something that you use every day that you can talk about, and that basically just start the website, find an affiliate for whatever product it is that you're excited about and don't have a problem recommending to your friends or talking about. And inevitably that company will have some type of affiliate program. So you basically, it's probably just a matter of copying whatever links that there is, getting a picture, posting it on your website. And when they click that special link that they give you, then you get a percentage of it. And you can do it for
That's so cool. I think that
I'm going to share the website while you guys keep talking, because the logo is really fun too. I want to talk about the logo, but please.
yeah, I think that is such a brilliant way of, you know, getting involved. And I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I use affiliate link. I'm usually the buyer. I don't have any affiliate links that I'm selling stuff through, but one example I use this one website all the time for recipes.
Mhm.
And I think is completely brilliant. And she comes up with really good recipe ideas. I think I bought like the air fryer she recommended.
Mhm.
I bought, you know, a couple of kitchen accessories that she recommended, an immersion blender, whatever. And I don't have a problem with it because I look for people who are going to stand by, you know, their recommendations. I think that there's a lot of people who they have ideas for like t-shirt lines or, you know, mugs or hats, whatever it is. And I think they should go for it. I really, really do. I'm such a believer of like now more than ever, this is the age of entrepreneurialism. And if you can, I know it takes a little bit of work up front, but if you can find a way to kind of have an automatic pilot online business that also you can set, you know, to automatically donate to whatever cause that you want, I think that's fantastic.
Well, it all gets back to what you said earlier about when you changed the angle of the event, where it was, this is what I'm into, surfing and dogs. It's all about being high touch. And so whether it's network marketing or affiliate marketing, it's all about that connection with people that makes the difference. And I think that's, I mean, we're still very small. We're by no means able to fund lots of organizations, but 10% of our profits go to that sad sack right now. But we also contact other rescue organizations and say, hey, I'll give you a special coupon code that you can promote. And then that way, when we have a sale, I know it came from you guys, and then we'll give you 10% of the proceeds.
I love that. Who did this logo for you? The cat with the cup of coffee and the little like red cross above his head.
I had somebody design that for me. I just came up with the idea. I said, this is what I want to do. This is what I want it to kind of illustrate. And it didn't take very long.
Is there any swag yet? Because like, you know, obviously I'm willing to wear t-shirts. I'll buy one. I just want to know, can I get my hands?
I found a couple places that I can now essentially do the print on demand type thing. The coffee place used to offer, the website used to offer coffee machines and things like that. But what I discovered was it wasn't automated. The place that I got hooked up with was basically, okay, we will sell the stuff, but you got to go find it on some place like Alibaba, and then it's coming from China, and it might take a month to get there. And I was like, that totally defeats the purpose of me creating this website, is to basically, if the only thing I want to spend money on is advertising, I don't want to have to take inventory. I don't want to have to do any searching down inventory, trying to put this person's order information in. And so that's why you don't see any of that extra stuff. But swag, yeah, definitely swag is definite print on demand.
That's going to look great on a hoodie. I'm just going to be honest, that big old cat with the very fun.
I think one thing really quick before we go to break. Imagine how much of a better world this world would be if every single person's business gave back something to whatever good cause.
Absolutely.
I think it would be an incredible world, Val. I think imagine is the right word to use for that, because it would be a special world. Yeah. Let's we're going to go to break. Val, bring us back from break. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
Okay.
You guys soon.
Join us every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern for the Mind Behind Leadership, where we focus on what leadership really means to us and to others. We have practical discussions with the CEOs of some of the world's largest companies, owners of small businesses, and experts in psychology and behavior to get that inside track, what to do, what to avoid, and what really happens. Join me, Graham Dobbin, at the new time, 4 p.m. every Tuesday for the Mind Behind Leadership, here live on talkradio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host a program, Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc. Calling all pet lovers.
Pet Avengers, assemble!
On the Professionals and Animal Lovers show, we believe the bond between animal lovers is incredibly strong. It mirrors that bond between pets and their owners. Through this program, we come together to learn, educate, and advocate.
Join us live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. at talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
All right, we're back from break, and we were just talking about swag. And you know what, Tommy DeMisa? I think that the PALS show needs a little swag. What do you think? Needs some merch.
Well, believe it or not, I got a guy. Yeah, that's a
Got a guy?
Yeah, I got a guy. Shout out to my buddy Fred Taffer, Tombo Visual Creations down in right outside of Philadelphia. But he actually made the Philanthropy and Focus shirts that I tend to wear from time to time when I'm doing a day of service. What about our logo with a caricature of Valerie and a caricature of Tommy D? I think that's the ticket. But we'll have to, maybe we'll do like a contest. Maybe we'll have some people do it, and then we'll ask people to say, which logo do you like best?
I actually I created a logo. I didn't do it. My brilliant graphic designer friend did. She created 9 versions, and I put it out there, and I had like a poll, and we picked the winning one together. That was fun.
Yeah, that's our logo now, but I'm thinking I like the idea of you and me as characters on a hoodie. I'm just gonna say it. It's not
like the Avengers.
Yeah, right. Well, pet Avengers. What do we say? Unite. Oh, I'm doing right. Assemble. Right. I said unite. I'm throwing out gang signs on the show here, folks. All right.
All right. One quick shout out, actually, before we get back to this is so important. Our prior guest, Tanya Dybel, rhymes with Bible, and her pet therapy dog, Boone, are going to find out in 2 days if Boone is the official American Hero dog. There was like 9 final categories. He already won therapy dog of the year. And we're rooting for you, Boone, and we love you.
Check him out on Instagram. Miracle dog named Boone or Miracle named Boone. I'll get it for you before we break. But yeah, congrats to the Dybel Rhymes Like Bible family.
Okay. So let's get back to this, Sonny. You want to talk about you're an author. We should talk about that. That's another big deal. Is there anything you don't do? I mean, really.
Yeah, I was afraid to give you my CV because it reads like a madman's journal. So let's see. I was head of internal investigations at Macy's down here in Virginia, where I would catch employees stealing.
Yeah.
70% of all theft is from employees.
I have a friend in loss prevention at Coach, and he relies very heavily on body language.
Holy cow. Yeah. So that basically, I mean, even as a kid, I was kind of, I was always a watcher of people, and I would make judgments on people. And sometimes it would get me in trouble, but a lot of the times it was right on. And then I became a stage hypnotist, I studied in Las Vegas, and being able to read body language and being a hypnotist is a valuable skill because it helps you know when people are faking and when people are really in hypnosis. So I'm still stage hypnotist. I still do shows. It's just been obviously with the pandemic, was pretty much cut off for a while. Starting back up now. But in the process, I started working for the government as an analyst. And in the beginning, I was basically embedded with, as a plainclothes observer, looking for body language in high target areas for people that were indicative of doing violence. So it was basically a counterterrorism unit.
Wow.
And then I wrote a book on being able to read body language and used it for business and being able to develop rapport with people.
Tell me that. What's the book's name?
So if you type in my name, Sonny Nardone, and Swaymaker, that's the name of the series. Swaymaker is the name of the series. And I think it's been a while since I've done a lot of promoting of the book, but swaymakerbook.com is probably still up.
We'll share that on Facebook for everybody as well.
I love body language. I love it.
It's so much fun, and it's also a curse because you see stuff you don't really want to see. And you're like, oh wow, that person really has never liked me.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So I did a language thing. I'm certainly not an expert, but I did a lot of research and reading on it. And I took, there was a small class that was actually done by Professor Rutgers. I was fascinated by him. So I did a workshop in a networking setting, and it was so much fun because I got this one gentleman up, he stood up, he volunteered. And I said, okay, Bob, don't worry. Like, I'm just going to ask you a series of questions, and then I'm going to ask you to tell me the truth. Nothing invasive, like, are you married or single? How many kids do you have? Stuff like that. And then afterwards, I said, okay, now I'm going to ask you the same questions, but you have to lie to me. So when in doing so, his body language, he blushed. I'll never forget this. He clenched his fist. All of a sudden, he was like really stiff. I asked him if he was married, and the lie was, no, I'm single. I said, do you have any kids? He said, yes. And then I go, how many? And he goes, 17. Like he couldn't think. And I go, oh, really? Wow. I go, what are their names? And he started stamping his foot. He's like, Joe, Tony, Mary. So mad. He got up to like 5. I give him credit. But it was hysterical to see, like, even though everyone knew, like, you're expected to lie. Let's see what you got.
You remember that movie with Good Will Hunting when he names off all those 13 brothers and he got like every single one of them right? That kid was a genius, though. I think that's a little different. Yeah.
Right.
Tony, what were you going to say?
Well, body language and hypnosis. Body language is obviously, it's so subconscious, and it really lends itself to being able to use hypnosis and watching how people talk. And of course, I'm Italian, so I have to talk with my hands. There's just no way around it. But knowing how somebody positions their body and talking with them, you can be able to utilize that to help build rapport on a subconscious level. I've used it several times. It's just now part of what I do now when I talk with people.
Tony, when you're talking about that, in sales, growing up in sales, they talked about like mirroring and stuff like that. Is that what you're referring to? Like you lean in, I lean in, you lean back, things like that. I'm guessing that's fundamental stuff there. That's part of it. It's also understanding when too much is too much. A great indicator of that is watching people's feet. So as a young man, if I wanted to go chat up a bunch of women, if I walked up to somebody and their feet weren't pointing toward me when I was talking to them or the group, any of those people I knew and never had a chance with, but if somebody was focused on me and their feet were pointed toward me, it means at least they were engaged and cared what I had to say. Wow.
That's pointing, right? Is that what that's called? Pointing.
Yeah. I remember people listening can't hear, but this move was this thing where you would sit like this with your hands like this. This was like what it projected, I remember, was very comfortable. I'm very comfortable in this. situation. And I go back to the Vito books, Tony Parinello, the very important top officer. If you guys, any of you sales gang know about those books, but those were Vito being that acronym. But all that salesmanship, right? This plays into relationships and trust and all that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a deeper form of communication. It's very helpful, but like I said, sometimes it's a curse because you see things that you don't want to see, and there's a whole other story that we don't have time for that really got me involved with that. But yeah, it can be a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun watching interviews too, when you're, especially political ones.
The Clinton famous, I did not have sexual relations with. but
So-
circling back to the animals, trainer and experts in behavior, right? They rely heavily, if not exclusively, on body language.
Yep.
So they look at a dog's, posture, they look at their ears, they look at their tails. Body language, I think that if we all paid more attention to it, we would be all better off, you know?
Paul Ekman tells a story in one of his books. He's the one that developed microfacial expressions. And he tells a story in a book of a professor who would go to the racetrack and look at the horses and be able to tell by their confidence level. And almost every time he could pick the winners just by looking at the body language of the horse.
That's amazing.
What? Oh my God. I've been donating way too much money to the association. I need that book. I want your book too, Sonny, but I need that other book with the guy who. All right, we got to draw to a close. We're running out of time. Sonny's got a meeting. Valerie's got a meeting. I'll find something here in the attic.
Yes.
What's it? What happened?
He was a fabulous guest. Thank you, Sonny.
Yeah. Sonny,
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We're thrilled to have you. Well played on the wardrobe thing. You totally tripped me up. I'm still confused about what just happened with that, but I feel like I'm hypnotized. I don't even know if I was here for the show or if I was just. Okay, and we're back. Okay, let me introduce our guest. Oh no, we did that. See, all right. This is the Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. That's Valerie. That's Sonny. I'm Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector. We're here every week, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Next week on the show, our friend Daniela Scala Nathan will be here, co-founder of Paw It Forward Pet Pantry. Paw It Forward, cute, like the movie. So I want to. What am I supposed to? Is there something in the chat, Val? I'm supposed to say?
Let me know, everyone, 10% off the coffee.
Oh, 10% off the coffee. Go to petrescuecoffee.com.
If you use PALS, P.A.L.S.
Use the coupon PALS, P.A.L.S. Long Island Railroad. How could I be here without you? Thanks for being here, Long Island Railroad. Go to the website, petrescuecoffee.com. Use the code PALS, P-A-L-S, for 10% off. Thank you for being here, Sonny. Here's what I tell you. I leave you all with this. Thanks for listening. In his total commitment to nonviolence, Gandhi always included the animals, stating the greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Thank you. Good day. Bye.